Welcome to Vintage Gaming Memories. Shall we play a game?
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited with this item that I just received the other day, and as you can see by the label, it was internationally shipped and it was actually from across the pond. This was a Kickstarter project that I backed by funding it last October 2023, and it ended up reaching its funding goal just about a couple weeks later in that same month of October. I must say that the communications from Matt Precious, who is the co-founder of Numbskull Designs and also the project creator for this campaign, it was just beyond awesome. He made sure to provide project updates very often and with great details, along with pictures that were in the emails that were being sent. I've been involved with other Kickstarter campaigns. Some were more detailed and kept your backers involved, and some were not. This was definitely one of the best ones I've been involved with and very happy to be involved with as well because of the actual item I have, in which I will show you shortly. So before getting this item in the mail, I also received the PDF version as part of funding the project. And with that said, I have to admit I had a little glance of what to expect, but I didn't look through it completely because this came in the next day and didn't have much time to really absorb it. But what I do know because of the project itself and what I saw so far, that this item could be considered the channel's Bible for half of its purpose. And what do I mean by that? The half of its purpose being the vintage handheld gaming side of it. So without further ado, let's open this up and check it out. Check this thing out. This is a large coffee table book, if that's what it's going to be used for, but probably going to be a little bit of a combination as in my bookshelf as well as a coffee table book. This measures about 12.5 inches tall and about 9.5 inches wide. Very large book, hard-covered. It has over 170 pages in here, and it covers the years from 1978 through 1989 with 10 different companies as well as over 50 games within these pages inside. And as you can tell by the name, from coin ops to tabletops, the Essential Electronic Games Guide. That's exactly half of my channel's purpose. I have vintage handheld games, and it's within those years I just mentioned. So I'm excited to see what Mike Diver, who is the author of this book, has to write about them. Very nicely presented. If you look at it, Numbskull is the publishing company. I love the front cover. A lot of these games I have actually, I think all of them, but maybe Firefox. But anyways, I just really want to get an idea of what I'm missing out there perhaps, and maybe understanding the background a little bit more, maybe some things I don't even know about, which I'm sure there is. There's always opportunities of learning. So that is the outside of the book. And let's just kind of open this up. Now, obviously, I won't go through all the pages because that defeats the purpose of buying the book, but I'll give you a little teaser. I'm actually going to pause the video and go through all this and come back and give you a true assessment of the book like I've done before with other books that I've purchased. You know, I really don't want to just kind of glimpse through and just give you my overall opinion by looking at it on a high level. I really like to get into it, and I will probably read quite a few of these pages and just look through them all. I'm not going to just thumb through it. I'll try to really absorb the information. A lot of these pages just have about a paragraph each, so it's not going to be hard reading. I can get through this pretty quick. There's Mike Diver, the author. And oh, that is all of the 50 plus games that's going to be mentioned. And then these are the years covered, and is the 10 companies that I mentioned as well. So let's take this offline, and I will come right back and give you my assessment shortly. Now, as I was going through this book and looking through the pages, I just realized that my order was one of those that was hand signed by Mike Diver. And I remembered only after I looked at this page thinking, what is this? Oh, that's right. I do have his signature. It was nice. It was an option that I got on this book when I ordered it. And then I read a little bit about the author himself. And it's nice to know that he has 4 other books that he's written that I'll also take a look into more. So that's kind of cool. And then on the contributors section here, it was nice to see a familiar face, the immortal John Hancock. Great guy. Played a couple of his games in the past and did some reviews and videos on my channel here that you can check out. And then we really get into the heart of the book after that. Now, within these pages here, it's broken out like in 3 sections, but it starts off with the display itself. It talks a little bit how these displays differ for each one of these games, in which they could be a VFD or an LCD. The funny thing is that if you watch my videos in the past, I've made sure to always explain the differences on these handheld games that I show, which is nice to see that my information matches exactly with theirs. So that's a good thing. But no, that was a pretty good way to start it off, because I think people need to understand what you're seeing and why it's different between these different games. So that was nice. And then for the images that are in this book, I like the crisp, zoomed in photos that you'll see here. I mean, there's stuff. Let me find one that was a good example. Well, maybe it was this one. Oh, right here. This is great, where you can actually see the dust, the buildup from the dust, the scratches. And some of them had some lot of wear and tear you could see, because that's how these games are nowadays. You're looking at games that are 40, 45 years old. So it's nice to see how they look. And I'm very familiar with that, being that I picked up a lot of these on eBay for my collection, and I had to do my OCD on it with the cleaning. So definitely can relate. Now, the writing and verbiage in this book, they did a really good job on drawing the timeline of the evolution of the games and their particular releases from the companies distributing them to the consumer homes. I mean, it's a high level, but that's good, because there's a lot to cover in the 12 years of progression that they cover in here. Now, I think this book was nicely broken out in 3 sections. We have the evolution and revolution, which is broken out by the years. And then we have the games masters, which are the manufacturers or the 10 companies that are shown here. And in these pages for each of these companies, they do a great job about talking about where they're based at and when they were established, as well as their greatest hits list of games for each of these companies. And then the meat or the heart of the book is right here. This is the section where each of the 50 plus games are detailed. It's exactly that. It's detailed. I mean, they list it in alphabetical order, as you can see. And I have to say that Mike and the team did a nice job on the choice of words that they use within these sections. It's sort of like a nice mini review for each one of these games. And you can kind of get the image of the moving visuals and hearing the sounds coming from these pages. I mean, that's the way I would say. These words are pretty good. I can visualize these games. I'm familiar with a lot of these games, so that helps as well. But they did a great job with the use of the words and how to describe it in the amount of space that they allotted. They also cover within each of these games here the scoring, the overall gameplay, and they also provide a little bit of an honest personal overview, which is nice. Now, a couple things that I think would have been cool to see for some of these games, maybe for all of them, would be maybe an estimated price for each game on its initial release, regardless if it was in the US, Europe, or Asia. That would have been kind of cool to see. And then maybe an estimated number that were produced for each one of these, like how many units of these games were actually produced. Not really sold, but maybe just produced, or maybe sold as well. I mean, I'm not complaining. There's nothing like that. I just was thinking, that would be kind of cool, because I noticed that they did put in here for each one of these games, they put the manufacturer, the year of release, and they also indicate here the power source. So you can tell what kind of batteries and how many batteries they required for each one of these games, as well as what the game was based on. So that's pretty nice. I like that. It's a nice touch. It's great information. You can find it easily for each one of these. There's definitely a handful of games that I'm looking to obtain that are shown in this book, which is perfect. And I'm happy that I have more than half that are already in this book, which is another good thing. This is a pretty cool looking game. I was interested in pursuing it, but I kind of forgot about it. But now getting this book reminds me, hey, I need to look into this more. Jungler, this was released in 1982. And a lot of details about it. And the other game was Stargate. And let me find that one. Alphabetical order. There we go. Entex Stargate. That is pretty cool as well. 1982, another great year again. And a lot of details about it, as you can see there. Now, the back of the book, it has a really nice little reference page here. Each one of these pages are broken out by the manufacturer, and it details which games they produced and which pages you can find more information on them, along with the picture. So I thought that was a nice touch to the book. I find that to be a nice, handy lookup feature. And then, of course, the back of the page here are the backers with me right over there. So overall, I think this was a very nicely put together book that takes you back, 40 to 45 years on various influential and unique tabletop games of one's childhood. I'm very happy with supporting this project. I think this was a great, successful project that they put together. And if you want to get yourself a copy of this book, I'll put the link and details in the description. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I welcome your feedback and your subscription, so be sure to subscribe. And until next time, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.